Good morning, KMA Tribe, friends, family, students, and all of you watching this. Hey, let me just get it out of the way and make this video not evergreen right away. By the way, evergreen means that, in content creation, if you didn't know, you're really not supposed to say something like I'm about to say, because then it makes it about a specific time. But I don't think that really matters that much. So happy Thanksgiving. I know that you're going to be off for your Thanksgiving feast tomorrow and then the rest of the weekend. And it's going to, I want you to enjoy that time. And by the way, I am going to be teaching all the classes here tonight if you want to get one final awesome workout in before you do. In thinking about what I wanted to deliver as the actual lesson and message today, I thought about talking about your operating system. And, what I'm going to explain is what your operating system actually is, just like, DOS and then all the other operating systems that have come since that tell a computer how to act. We have one too. And even though I had like a handful of things that I was deciding between on what I wanted to talk to you about, I thought right before the Thanksgiving holidays with your family and with all of the temptations that come there with Thanksgiving, that it would be a great time to talk about this. See, most people think that they're actually choosing and deciding their actions and reactions all of the time. In fact, I will say things like everything in life is a choice. But the reality is that we can choose how to program and how to reprogram our programming. But the fact is that our operating system is based on certain hardwiring and certain programming that really dictates everything that we do. And what I'm talking about, if you don't know, is the subconscious mind. Most people think that the conscious mind is in control, and it is, in that the conscious mind can be the trainer of the subconscious mind. We can deliberately reprogram faulty programming of youth. But when we act or react in a certain way, that is from the operating system that is our subconscious mind, which is so much more powerful and honestly just dictates all of our actions and reactions and behaviors and feelings. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. I'm going to give you a personal story. Like Barbara and I, my wife, the other day, I was just like, it was in the middle of shopping for something for Christmas, and there was a few things that just evoked negative emotions in me that she had said. And of course, she didn't do it on purpose. Of course, she would not have even been aware. In fact, if I had been a younger man, the thing probably would have been left unsaid until eventually I had exploded a few days later, because I used to make those kinds of mistakes all the time. And that was, of course, before I was even aware and conscious of what I'm explaining to you today. What happens is we have programming and we have baggage. We have emotional triggers and cues and buttons that have been programmed through experiences in our life. And see, the subconscious mind is like this supercomputer that has actually kept and categorized everything that's ever happened to you. And there are certain things, particularly if they were really, really charged with emotion, that are categorized more highly. See, and then what happens is when the conscious mind needs something, it goes to the subconscious mind and it takes it. It's kind of like, I know very little about computers, but it's kind of like, right, you got the read-only memory and then the random access memory or whatever. You got the one that goes and grabs from the other one, from the storage. Well, we're like that. And our subconscious mind is, if you think of an iceberg, the iceberg analogy, the conscious mind is the tip of the iceberg above the water. The subconscious mind is all below. And it's why sometimes somebody can say something or do something that just all of a sudden makes you angry or makes you fearful or makes you anxious. And see, the problem is that perhaps I was about to make a generalization, but for me, in my most natural state, those things cause me to react. As pertains to fight and flight response, mine is always fight. So those things can cause me to react poorly. But what I've learned to do is to, one, take inventory of what's happening, why it's happening. to communicate with the other person. So like I explained to Barb, I said, when you did this, when you said this, when you said that, this is how it made me feel. I think this is why. This is the programming. And of course, as a result, it was a beautiful conversation and growth opportunity for both of us. In fact, it led to the coffee time this morning where I really decided to make you this message. And I thought, wow, it's a great conversation to have right before we go to our family dinners, because I guarantee that somebody around that table interacts with your past programming as well. Okay, so the immediate public service announcement is, when that happens, take 2 steps back, evaluate why you're so upset, and choose an action or reaction that isn't going to elevate the situation. Perhaps even communicate with them. It may or may not be appropriate, obviously, around the table, but maybe later. And then the second piece I want to talk to you about is this. While it is true, I'm about to say 2 true facts, and then I'm going to give the happy news in response to what I'm about to say. Okay, the 2 true facts is, it's true that our subconscious mind is in control of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. And it is also true that most of that programming happened while we were very young. That would be negative information if I left it there, because it would seem as though we are doomed to behave the way we are. Thank God I can attest to the fact that we don't have to stay the way we are, that we can actually reprogram our mind, our thoughts, our behaviors, our emotions in a way that is more positive and productive for us. And as I already said in the story, it's not that you won't sometimes slip and have the thing and then then you communicate about it and you take 2 steps forward again, right? That's all part of the reprogramming as well. But there's other ways that we reprogram our mind. We reprogram our mind by, and by the way, this is in a positive or negative direction, but we reprogram our mind by what we read, what we listen to, what we watch, who we associate with, what medias we interact with. We are consciously and deliberately, if we are, because if you're not deliberately reprogramming your mind, somebody else is. Let me just drop that bonus in. By the way, sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad, because I'll tell you, programming is part of what we do here at Black Belt, in my Black Belt leadership program at Krav Maga Martial Arts, because we are programming kids with the attributes and qualities of success, the Black Belt superpowers of focus, respect, discipline, confidence, gratitude, and vision. The Black Belt principles, right? Things that we teach, like, well, there's the principles like courtesy, modesty, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and the indomitable spirit. And then there's lessons that we teach, like life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to what happens to you. Everything happens for a reason, and it serves me well. The law of the process, excellence happens daily, but not in a day, and on and on and on. The point of the story is that all of that is information meant to program us for success. And oh, by the way, if you're an old guy like me, it helps reprogram you for further success or next success, or because something needs to change. A mom actually said something nice to me yesterday. She was talking about her son's in my Black Belt leadership program, and she said, by the way, and she's not a student. She actually sits on the sidelines, but she said, by the way, I love coming here too. I need a motivational teacher in my life. And so I'm honored to be that thing. And I can tell you that it started by reprogramming my own mind, my own thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and emotions, and then being able to help others to do the same. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving and a great break, and we will see you back soon. Prepare to live, empower to lead. I'm Shan Steve with Krav Maga Martial Arts.